Merlyna, can you hear me? I slowly opened my eyes and I saw this stranger by my bed. I was petrified. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I attempted to get up and escape, but I could not move. And I thought, this must be a nightmare I just need to wake up from. This stranger came closer and said he was so happy to see my eyes were finally opened. I had no idea this was a doctor, and I had just awakened from a medically induced coma. And my nightmare, it was real and far from over. You see, I was in the intensive care unit as I battled sepsis and major organ failure. My prognosis was exceedingly grim, and a ventilator was my lifeline. I shivered in disbelief when I learned I'd been given a less than 10% chance of surviving. I spent months in the hospital as I fought and clawed my way back from the brink of death. Miraculously, I beat the impossible odds, only to then be sentenced to a long and arduous recovery within the closing in four walls of my bedroom. My body was still reeling from the residual effects of sepsis and a loss of blood flow to my extremities. For 9 months, I watched in horror as the life slowly drained from each of my limbs. I faced the inevitable, the amputation of both of my hands and both of my legs below the knee. I deeply mourned this loss, and equally as devastating was the fact that my mind was now seized by fear and the inability to accept the new me. I was now imprisoned, not by concrete and bars, but confined by my own thoughts. This impenetrable cell was constructed with sturdy walls that screamed, "You are broken, fragile, and unworthy." There was such finality in losing parts of me. No treatment, no cure. My limbs were just gone forever. I felt trapped by the uncertainty of my future until my breakthrough moment when faith, acceptance, and love unlocked my mental cell and freed me. The key was a gift from my husband, whom I'd only dated for 1 year when all of this happened. And in the hospital, as soon as that ventilator was removed, I mustered up the strength and offered him his freedom from any sense of duty or obligation that he felt to stay. He quickly assured me that he never agreed to only love me if I stayed exactly the same. He committed to the new me. And I realized then that my before and after version of myself both deserved to be loved. When he proposed, of course I exclaimed a resounding yes. I found myself reminding him of all he would sacrifice to be with me. His family, his friends, his career, even his freedom to move to my city over an hour away and become my primary caregiver, even having to do my hair and makeup. His response still makes my heart beam when he shared that he had nothing to lose and only much to gain from marrying the most incredible, amazing, and phenomenal woman in the world. I looked deep into his big, beautiful brown eyes, and you know what I said? "You are so right. You've hit the marriage jackpot." And together, we freely chose love. Each of us has this freedom to choose happiness and love, despite the circumstances. But exercising this liberty does not come easily. Many of us sentence ourselves to life inside mental prisons erected by our own limiting beliefs. We're held captive by our own self-sabotaging thoughts as life relentlessly tries to persuade us to believe that adversity always prevails. If freedom is the state of not being imprisoned, then we can liberate ourselves by breaking free of the chains of fear and acknowledging that adversity is not invincible. I finally stopped holding on to what my life was and embraced what my life is and all that it can be. So when that indelible moment happened, I held on tightly to my father's arm for the most incredible walk of my life. Each step down the aisle on my prosthetic legs led me closer to marrying my Prince Charming and to living our happily ever after. Love empowered me with the freedom to command my thoughts and my fears. Instead of being imprisoned by them, I am free.